and gentlemen, Bretzel.
Amazing! It's in the name.
Hi.
Is all going as planned? It's completely normal for you to see all of these different windows. We're one of the only shows that shows you, the behind the scenes as it's happening. Sort of like, kind of like the Ryanair of burlesque shows. Finishing the plane. All right, give it up for Selene Rose!
I have 2.5 degrees in literature and most of a degree in library science. And ever since 4th grade, when Deborah Simmons, the Devil Earl, taught me what cunnilingus was, I've loved romance novels. Yes, those romance novels, those trashy, silly, mushy, sappy, fluffy, smutty, sentimental, chick flick in a book bodice rippers.
Yeah!
So what am I? Some kind of immature, regressive, patriarchy-loving, Twilight mom in the making, waiting for a brute to ravish me and drag me away to be his bride? Not tonight. But day or night, I am a proud feminist. So, how do I reconcile my belief in gender equality with my desire to read about kilted Scottish lairds and the virgins they deflower? First, some facts. Romance is the top-selling literary genre, outselling the next two genres combined and bringing in more than $1 billion in sales annually. And as Jessica English points out, this, and I'm going to go really, really fast, literary juggernaut is primarily consumed by, written for, written about, and published by women. 74% of the publishing industry is comprised of women, and you might not be surprised to learn the industry is known to be nurturing and welcoming, with advocacy groups such as the Romance Writers of America regularly holding seminars that bring writers and readers together, and in fact, most romance authors were once romance readers. Now, I know what you're saying. Just because a movement or group is dominated by women doesn't mean it's necessarily feminist. And you're right. So let's look at the content. First, throw away your idea of a bodice ripper. Romance spans every genre, from mystery to horror to paranormal to young adult literature. And millennials are diversifying the canon, bringing in protagonists that are queer, fat, disabled, and racially diverse. But even if we are looking at the retro style of romance novels, what are the ways in which we can see that the Sarah Wendell quote is true, that this work is inherently feminist? So first, the formula is the key to the romance novel's magic. Because the entire whole conforms to societal standards, the reader and the writer are allowed to transgress boundaries along the way. And the courtship rituals that are shown in romance novels are one of the most traditional ways of women empowering themselves. And the formula is also a guarantee that at the end of this book, a woman will triumph. The most feminist area of romance literature by far is its portrayal of sex. So they create a world in which women's pleasure is centered, and they are equal partners in desire, and where sexual pleasure is not just hoped for, but insisted upon. Some scholars are even calling for using romance novels to teach boys, because they offer very different conversations about consent, birth control, and other things that a lot of young boys need to learn. And since we all know how the patriarchy feels about women seeking their own pleasure, criticizing women's literature is in fact as old as women's literature itself. In fact, reading could be constructed as a feminist act in and of itself, in so much as a woman is carving out time for herself and rejecting the roles and responsibilities that society has placed upon her. which is why in years past there were laws and taxes placed on things such as candles, window glass, and printing presses in order to discourage women from reading. In fact, one of the earliest, we skipped a couple of cards, so there's a whole bunch of early romance literature. Some of it leads to this lady, Eliza Haywood, who writes novels, a whole bunch of novels in the 1700s about women protagonists who just love to get it in. They like even disguise themselves as other people. It's kind of rapey, but like, all right. Also, proto-romance novels, such as those written by Jane Austen, the Bronte sisters, also play with themes of desire and authority. In so much as they are women renegotiating power relationships to form equal partnerships. So, I hope you've learned that Val Derbyshire is right and when she says that romance literature is a literature of protest. So, whether you're a fabby or a fabby no, please join us classy bitches and our trashy literature and read a romance novel. Yeah!